Hi. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Bella Crafts Live. My name, if you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Lisa Rojas, and my business partner, Ann Butler, and I own Bella Crafts Publishing. Um, we put out, well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. So, in case you're first time watchers, okay? Um, we put out a free, absolutely free craft magazine 4 times a year. Spring issue is out. It's beautiful. And if you have not signed up for it, then you need to head over to our website and do that. What I'm going to do, because usually Ann and I work together, but she is in Chicago. I think she's in Chicago. I can't keep track of her anymore. She's like all over the place. Um, but yeah, she's in Chicago, I think, at the H8 show, and I'm here. And usually, whoever is not doing the live at the same time, then we're definitely putting in links and stuff. So after I'm done, everything that I'm talking about, I'll put links in for you. Okay. So just check out the comment section. Hi, Isabel. How are you? Good evening to you. How's it going? Oh, I was just laughing at myself right now because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on time. And then I remembered that, usually Ann and I, when we're right before we start, we're talking and sometimes we don't start right away. So, there it is. Hi. Oh, you know what? I have such a terrible time with your name. I'm so sorry. I know Ann says it. Hi, Karen. Um, oh geez, I don't even know. I can't even guess. So, but welcome. I'm glad that you're here. So, today I am going to show you guys a fun craft. It's quick, it's easy, it's done with ribbons, buttons, and an applique from our sponsor today, which is Gwen Studios. So, they're going to be sponsoring our giveaway. And if you want to get in on that giveaway, you need to like, comment, and share my video. Like, share it everywhere you can think of. And then each time you share, you'll be entered in for the giveaway. Okay. So make sure that you do that, you guys. It's just a whole lot of fun. And we do it every single Wednesday. I am just popping over, looking at my iPad real quick to see if Facebook, I'm assuming Facebook is letting me go live because last night I was looking for a video on Facebook and it wasn't there. And I know I recorded it. So, okay, well, it's just not going to show me. Well, I was kind of hoping that it would. I'm checking on my iPad because I was hoping to be able to keep track of comments while I'm demoing since Ann's not here. But it does not look like they're going to let me connect. So I'm not going to worry about it. Hi, Becca. So, just, I don't know. I'm not going to fuss about it. It's just too much fuss. So, anyways, okay, what I was saying is our sponsor this week is Gwen Studios. And if you're wondering, because I've done a couple projects recently with them, and I was thinking about this last night. If you guys are wondering why I'm, doing more projects with them, it's because Ann and I are both on their design team. A really good friend of ours asked if, we could help out. And, we were like, yeah. So I've been doing kind of like a double duty where I'll do one project because I only have to do one a month. So I'll do it, but I'll do it for a live too. So then that way I can do it twice, right? Or no, only once instead of doing it twice. Right. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what? There are no problems on my. Okay, all right. Thanks, Karen, for letting me know. Okay, so break it up in 2 syllables. Don Shawl. Don Cheryl. Don Cheryl. Close? Probably not. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I try really, really hard to say hi to everybody and, and all of that and comment and stuff, but I'm sorry. I just can't. I hope I didn't butcher it. Let's just say that. I hope I didn't butcher it. I probably did, but I hope I didn't. So, anyways, I'm glad that you guys are all here with me today. As I was saying earlier, I am flying solo and is at the H&H show, H&H America's show. So she's going to be busy there. And hopefully, what I'm hoping is that she's going to have a little bit of time to make some quick videos for us. But I haven't talked to her since she got there. So we'll see. It'll depend on how busy she is. But let me show you what we're going to be creating today, you guys, because this is just so cute and it's just so simple and fun. So this is what we're making today. And as I said, it is super easy and it's fun and it's got, pretty ribbons and some buttons in there. And then this little bee up here on the top, I just think is absolutely adorable. That's a patch or an applique. So just lots of fun with that. I love it. I had such a great time when I was putting it all together. And of course it's nice and bright and colorful because, well, that's what I do, right? Nice and bright and colorful. So I am going to switch my cameras because I think I said everything that I was going to say. And if I didn't, I'll deal with it later. But yes, I will put links in later after we're done. And I will go through the comments to make sure if you guys have questions that I get them answered, since my iPad is not letting me, it's not letting me on Facebook. So I don't know what the problem is, but it's like, whatever. I can't worry about it. So we're just going to go forward. All right, you guys. So let me switch cameras real quick and we will get started. Are you ready? It's going to be fun. All right, so let me switch here. There we go. Okay, so now you can really see how cute it is. It's super, super fun. And then, of course, if you haven't already guessed, this is on one of those cheapy acrylic frames like this, which you would normally put a picture in it and stand it like that, right? Well, nope. We're going to do it that way. So that way you can write your notes and do all that stuff. And then for the flowers, what I did for the flowers is I put some Velcro on the back here, just a little tiny bit. And I'll show you that when I get started, but they come on and off so you can reuse them. So cute, so much fun. You got your little notepad down here, and then of course your pen over here. So lots and lots of fun, right? All right, so let me move it over here out of the way some, and I will show you. Oh, I need to turn my glue gun on because because I'm definitely using my glue gun for this. So let me put that right up there. And we shall get started. All right. Now, can you guys, is it close enough you can see? Yeah, I think we're good. All right. I'm not going to move my camera. I think we're good. Okay. There we go. All right. So let me gather all of the fun stuff that we're using for this. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce you guys if you haven't seen them already. These are some of Gwen Studios ribbons. They have got a beautiful assortment, and they also have a fun assortment like these. These are kind of fun and funky, and I really love them. But they also have applicators like this, or not applicators, sorry, appliques or patches. So they have these, and then buttons. They have lots and lots of cool buttons, which I am going to be using today. So all kinds of pretty colors, shapes, sizes, everything. And you can find all of their stuff in Walmart or Michael's. Michael's and Walmart carry both. Okay. So, or they both carry. So just go ahead and check them out. There we go. Because they have some really, really cool stuff that you guys are going to love. All right. So let me get all my cute little element thingies here up out of the way. And we can get started on what we're doing today. All right. So we're going to start. Now I have my little sheet here so I can remember all of the dimensions, the measurements. Okay, so I've got them all here for you. So what you're going to need paper-wise for this, you're going to need 2 sheets of white cardstock. These are both 5x7. 1 piece of floral. This is from Lawn Fawn, a Lawn Fawn collection. I love their papers. And this is 5x7.25. I made this one just a little bit bigger, just for the simple fact that sometimes the acrylic frames, they may not be, the same size or whatever, and you don't want to come up short. So if it is too long when you're putting it together, you can just trim it off, trim the excess off, and you're good to go. Okay, so we've got that one. And then also, this is also from Lawn Fawn's paper collection. I cannot remember what this one is called. Yeah, I can't remember, guys. I'll put it in the comments when I'm done, though. Okay, so this piece right here is 5x2. Okay, 5 inches by 2. And then this other piece, this is 1.25 by 4.5. But I think I might have trimmed this one. So let me check real quick because I don't want to give you the wrong stuff. Yeah. All right. So what did I say? 4.5. Okay. So I did trim it down to 4.25. Okay. 4.25. And then it's, 1.25. Okay. So, and don't worry, about the measurements and stuff, because I am going to be doing my blog post. It'll be up on Sunday, unless I get it up earlier, and I'll let you guys know either way. And of course, it'll have all the written directions and everything like that. Okay, so no worries. I got you covered. Okay, so you're also going to need 3 little circles here, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. And then, of course, these fun and beautiful ribbons that I have. I absolutely am gaga over this one. But I just look how good they match this paper. It's so cool. All right, so we've got that. And then, of course, this piece, we've got this, and I'll share that in just a second. And let's see, glue gun and the buttons and a little bit of Velcro, and I think we're good to go. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing that you're going to do is you're going to cover your frame. Okay, so what I like to do when I did with this one is I did it this way when I taped it on. Okay, just because if I need to, if I need to change it or move it, I wanted to come in from the bottom. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it does to me. So, oh boy. See what happens when Anne's not here? I get in so much trouble running amok. All right. It's for me, it's just easier to stand it up because I'm using AdTex tape runner. And let me tell you, that thing is all right. We'll try it this way. The tape runner is sticky, sticky, sticky. There we go. All right. So we're going to lay that one down first. And as you can see, I put my frame upside down because normally it would go like this with the picture, but we're doing this, okay? And then we're going to add the striped paper. And you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and add this piece of ribbon too. All right. So when you add this ribbon, what I want you to do, okay, is leave a little bit open right here at the top, because this is where we're going to put the bee with the wire on it. So I want you to be able to tuck it in, because you don't want to put it underneath the ribbon because it will make your ribbon bulky. But if you put it under the paper there and just keep that area open and this area, you'll be good. Okay. So you just need a little smidge right here. All right. So let me add my other ribbon here. Now this ribbon is 6.5 feet, and I did do it bigger because I wanted to make sure that it went over both sides. And when you're working with ribbon, if you have issues with, lay that down right there. There we go. If you have issues with the ends and you don't want to fray, you don't want them to fray, okay, what you can do, and I'm sure you guys all know this tip anyways, but just take a lighter and just run it across the ends there, and that will seal your ribbon. It melts the fibers and it'll seal it so it won't fray. Lots of fun. All right, so now then I'm going to take this extra part and I'm going to put this right here. Just wrap it around and tuck it in. Right like that. There we go. Okay, and we're not going to worry about what this looks like, and I'll explain when I get to that point. Okay, so no worries. We're going to be covering that up because you can't have, your back can't be looking ugly. All right, so now since my ribbon now is on, I'm just going to go ahead and add some tape here to my other piece. And then we're just going to put this right about there. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got our base done for the most part. Okay, so then what you're going to do is I took a stamp set that I had from Stampendous to create the frame for this. Okay, so any frame will do. If you have any banners or anything like that, those are perfect. That will work. Just something that you can write notes on. Now with this particular set, and I've had this for, I don't know, a couple of years, I think. But this particular set, the lettering was a lot smaller than what I wanted, because you can see the difference here, right? So it was just a little bit too small for what I wanted. So what I did was I took a stamp set that I had, an alphabet stamp set that I've had for a million years, and I just stamped my frame first, okay, with my black Gina K ink pad. And then, of course, then I went back in with the alphabet, and then I just added the notes. Okay, so once you do that, then then you can take your scissors and cut it out. Now you can do them one at a time if you want, and just trim that completely off. But the stamp, the frame stamp itself, or border stamp, I guess I should say, is already connected. So that is, kind of up to you, however you want to do it, right? Okay. So now we're going to take our little pink paper that we got here, and I cut another piece of this blue and green ribbon. And this is, I think, because I have to remember if I chopped it down. I did. Okay, good. All right. So this is going to be the 4 1/4 that's inches long. That's going to go here. So we're going to add some tape or glue if you want to do glue. I'm just using tape because it's just, it's a little easier right now. Okay, so then we're going to take this. I'm going to do it this way because it makes it easier for me to see. Okay, and then we are going to lay this down, and I wanted a tiny bit of the edge showing on this. Okay, so we're just going to lay that down like that. There we go. Wow, that's pretty straight. Oh, I'm impressed. Okay, so you're going to add your ribbon, and then, of course, you're going to take your notes, and then we're just going to add these right on top of your ribbon. All right. And this tape is really sticky. This is the permanent kind that AdTech has, and it's sticky, but oh so good. All right, and then we're just going to take our little border here and lay that down right on top. See? And then you've got your little notes. I love that, right? Oh, I see a couple popped in while I have my head down. Hi, Helen. Hi, Diana. Hi, Amy. How are you guys today? I'm going to be checking over comments later, guys, because like I said earlier, my iPad is not letting me onto Facebook, and my computer is on that side. So it's a little hard to read and craft at the same time. All right, so we've got this part down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and then we're going to glue this right down here. Okay, and leave a little bit of this edge here. Instead of sliding it all the way over, leave a little bit of the edge so you've got a little bit more color over here also. And then it also, when you do that, it'll also make the ribbon pop better. All right, so we are just going to add some more tape to this. There we go. And then I'm going to lay this right down here. There. Okay, there we go. All right, and then of course your notepad will go here. Okay, so we've got that part out of the way. So now we can start playing with the ribbons and all of the fun stuff, buttons and everything else. So let me grab these, because I'm going to show you how it's done. And pull out the rest of my stuff here. There we go. Okay, my little bee. And let's see. Oh, and these. Okay. All right. Oh, and I'll need those too. Okay, so what you're going to do for these, oh, this was an extra, oh, no, this is for the hanger for the side here, and I'm going to show you that in just a sec. So I'm going to put that over here for now. All right, so the ribbons. So the ribbons you're going to cut 4 inches wide, okay? And this will change according to how big you want your flowers. Now, when I first started doing it, I wanted to do it maybe the flowers a little bit smaller, but you guys know that I have issues with my hands, so I had a hard time maneuvering, anything smaller. So you're going to cut 3 for each flower that you're doing. Okay. So you cut all three 4 inches. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue the ends together like this. Okay, there we go. So you're just going to glue those 2 ends and make a circle. And you know, like I said, this is really a very simple project, but oh so fun. All right. So we're going to close all of these. There. Okay. And then once you have these closed, then you are ready to move to the next step. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to take those circles that you just made and you're going to do a figure 8. Okay. Just like that. You see what I mean about size wise with my hands? Yeah. Anything smaller. Yeah, it didn't work, but you know, these looked really cute too. So, all right. So you're going to do the figure 8 right there and then just take a little bit of glue and just glue it down. And you're going to do the same for all of these. All right. And you're going to be creating your ribbons. You're going to be doing 9 pieces of ribbon for your flowers. Okay. Because you're doing 3 flowers for each flower. All right. So let me move that there. There we go. Oh. Yeah, my hands are just. Hopefully, you guys, my next surgery is coming up in 2 weeks. So, right after Bellicon. So, hopefully, my hands will start behaving themselves. All right. So, we're going to do this one. Same way. Okay, and just add a little dot in there. And that's really where your glue gun really comes in handy. All right. So we've got the makings of 1 flower. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to take each of these and you're going to stack them. Okay. So what I like to do before I glue anything down, I want to check to make sure it all looks cute and nothing's, you know, sticking where it's not supposed to stick and all of that good stuff. So I always like to test before I actually glue. All right, so that's going to be okay. So you're going to take these and then you're going to glue the middle down. Add some glue right there. Okay. And then you'll add this one on the top. These are really very, very simple flowers to make. I know Pinterest has a whole lot of tutorials on how to make different flowers from ribbon. And I am going to do something else. I don't know, maybe make some ribbon roses or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. But just so you know, you can figure out new ways to use all your ribbon. Because I don't know about you guys, but I am like a weirdo when it comes to ribbon. I love ribbon. I think I get that from my mom. Oh, all right. Now for the leaves, same thing. But these little puppies, let me get my size here. I think I did these at 2.5. Yeah, at 2.5. Okay. So you're going to cut it. You're going to cut your ribbons 2.5 inches. And then for these, what you're going to do for these is you're going to take each of the ends, fold them over, just like that. And then you're going to glue that bottom. Let me get a little bit of glue stuck in there. There we go. Okay, so there's one. And then you can come back and either, burn this stuff off like I showed you, or you can just take your scissors and just cut it off. Either way, you're not going to see it, but still, I like to make sure that things are clean. Okay, so again, we're just going to flip this over just like this, and then add a little bit of glue right to the ends there. Okay, there we go. So now you have your little leaves. So cute. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to figure out ahead of time, before you start gluing stuff, figure out how you want your ribbon flowers to go on the actual project, and then add the leaves accordingly. What I mean by that is, if you'll see in the finished one, you see I have the pink, I've got my leaves up here, the green, I've got them down here, and then the yellow, I have them up again. So, just go ahead and try to see which way looks best before you glue anything down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of glue back here. There we go. And then I'm going to add the other little leaf right about there. Okay, so we are going to glue that little piece down. Okay, there we go. So there's your pink. And I'm just going to finish these up too, so then we will have them all looking cute. All right. Now this ribbon that I'm using now, this is a satin. But the other ones that I'm using are grosgrain. Yeah. You guys know what I mean, right? All right, so we got that one. And where's the ends? There they are. And what I'm doing with this is I'm taking the ends that I put together and I'm putting that down at the bottom, just so, because you're going to wrap it around or lay it over on top when you do the figure 8 here, so you can keep that covered. So you don't want your ends to be up here, because then you'll be able to see them. So just make sure that you when you go to put them together, that you make sure that the seam for the circle is on the bottom. All right, so we got one more here. And this one I'm going to glue, just add a little bit of glue first. And then I'll move it. Yeah, my luck, I would have done it the other way. Oops. All right. And again, and take a look at your flowers when you're done, or your not your leaves, your flower petals, I guess. And if one looks like a little funky, like this one's a little funky, put that one on the bottom, because you're only going to see the tops of it anyways. So go ahead and add it on the bottom. But again, I want to kind of put those together to see. Yeah, okay, that's going to look good. Okay. Because sometimes you might just want to turn the ribbon just a little bit more, to one side or the other. So you want to make sure that you do that before you start gluing things down. All right, so then we have this last one. We're going to put that right there in the center. There we go. Now we have our little yellow one. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our flowers. Now I already did, I didn't have enough ribbon to do the green one, so I did a purple one for this one. So, and I already went ahead and did this ahead of time. So this part is already done. So I'm going to set that up there. And then I'm going to take my buttons here. And I'm just going to glue these right here in the center. There we go, just like that. And you can leave them just like that and they would be just as pretty, you know, because it doesn't matter. It's your preference. If you want to do it like that, great. If you want to add the gem like I did, well then, do that too. So it's however you want to make your flowers. But there we go. Now we got our buttons in the center there. And see, so what I did was then I took some gems that I had and I plopped those right in the center. Make sure if you are going to do this, make sure, okay, we're doing this one up high, that when you put your gems on, because these are hearts, excuse me. So if your flower is going to go like this, you don't want your heart to be down, to be in the wrong direction. So make sure that your heart is in the right direction for your flower center, okay? Do you see what I mean? Because now my leaves are here. Since my leaves are already on, if you do this first, then you need to just make sure that you put your flower or your leaves on whichever way you want to do that, okay? All right, so let me see. I need one more. And I think, let's see, we'll do a yellow. All right. So we're going to add that right on top of that button there. And then now you've got your ribbon flowers. Okay. Oh, we got to get the leaves on this one. Okay, so this one is going to be going that way. So we're going to add those right here. This is why a lot of times I plan my projects out before I actually start doing it. I plan it out. And then that way it makes it easier for me when it's time to put it all together, because I've already tried everything and made sure that everything looked pretty and, things like that. I can be a little goofy when it when it comes to that, but I love detail. I really do. All right. So now our little flowers are done. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to, okay, let me find my other. All right, I have my pink. And here, yellow. Okay, so now you're going to take your colored, these are the large paper clips, okay? These are 2 inches, I believe. And we're just going to glue these on the back, all right? So just slap a good dab, whatever, of your glue. And again, make sure that your paper clip is going in the same direction, and you didn't glue it up over here. Okay. So that is still wet a little bit. So I'm going to let that one sit. And then we're going to do, here we go. All right. That can go back in. Okay. So then we'll do the same thing with the yellow one. All right. So my heart is there. Okay. And then just dab that on. There we go. Okay. So now you got your flowers on your paper clips. You need to move that one. There we go. Okay. And this one. And then what you're going to do, if you were wondering about my little circles that I did earlier, okay, I die cut 3. These are 1-inch circles. Okay. So what I did was I die cut them out on some regular white cardstock and I added them to the backs of these. Now, the reason why I did that is because I am going to be adhering my little piece of Velcro. I'm going to be adhering that to the backs. And I was afraid if I tried to put it on the ribbon that eventually it would just pull off. So this way I've got a nice flat back there, and then I can just add my Velcro. And we're going to do the same with all of these. And it will also help stabilize your paper clip too. So, which I found out, and I thought, well, that was genius of me. Because yeah, your paper clip, if it's not, unless you sew it on and like really secure it, yeah, this works really good because it's working for 2 different reasons. All right, and then last, all right, we moved a little bit here. There we go. I want to make sure that that's on before, whoops. Because at this point, if I needed to, I could pull it off. But I'm just going to add some glue there. And then we're going to add this last little piece. So now you have your backs. And also too, it also looks prettier than to just have it all glued back there, and you'll see all the glue and everything. This just kind of, covers everything and makes it all look pretty. Okay, so from here, then what I'm going to do is just take these adorable, I love, love, love these. You guys have seen me use these before. These little Velcro dots are perfect for crafting. They're perfect. I absolutely love them. All right, so we're just going to attach. And what I did for mine is I went and I put them together like this first, but I didn't press it down really hard. I wanted to wait until I got everything centered. And, all of my stuff was where I wanted it. All right, so then we've got this one. So we're going to add that. And then add the hook side at the top. It doesn't really matter which way you put the, the Velcro, the hook side, or, All right, so we had this last one. I use these all the time, and I just love them. All right. Last one. All right, so we're going to put that there. There we go. All right. So now all of that is done. Okay, so let's do our little bee next. Okay, so what I did with him, I took some wire about 2 inches and, curled it up so it looked cute, and then just added it to the back of my little adorable little bee here. And I'm going to add just a tad bit of glue just to kind of make sure that that wire is going to stay on there good. Okay. So we've got that. I'm going to press it in there and burn my fingers as I do it. But hey, We're crafters. It's what we do. Okay. So now I've got my little wire on. And you remember that area that I told you? That this is why. Okay. So you're going to take your little bee and put him wherever you want. He looks really good there. And you know, these would be perfect for a craft fair if you guys are doing craft fairs or anything like that, because you can buy these frames for practically nothing. You know, I mean, I got a big box of them, and yeah, they weren't, I don't even know if they were $1 a piece, you know. So, all right, so we got our little bee on there. Isn't that cute? All right, so almost last, we're going to do the pen holder. Okay, so remember when I showed you the white cardstock? Okay, I used this for 2 reasons. One, because I wanted to make sure that my ribbon had something good to adhere to. Okay, and 2, once I have my ribbon done and I slide it in, then all of that back stuff, your ribbons and whatnot, you're not going to be able to see them. Okay, so what I did here was I took another piece of ribbon, and this one is, oh, let me see. Okay, let me measure. All right, 4.5. Okay. So you're going to take this, and then it's going to depend on how big your pen is, because, you know, if your pen's smaller, then you want to make your loop here smaller. This right here is just excess. This is what we're going to glue. Or if you do have pins like I do that have the little holder thingies on there, then you don't have to really worry about it. But still, I still like to make sure that, you know, it's going to fit on there well. All right, so it's right about there. And I'm just going to sneak a little bit of glue in here. Okay. And then I'm going to test it again to make sure, because, you know, you want to make sure before you put everything down, before you glue everything down. But yep, that works. Okay. So then what I did for this is I measured 2 3/4 inches down, and then 3.25 inches up. Now, I'm just telling you that because this is how I did mine. So this piece is going to also depend on where you want your ribbon. So if you want your ribbon up here, then you put it up there. You know, I wanted mine down, not quite to the center, but just, you know, like right there. So that's why I went ahead and measured it for you guys, just so you would know what I added. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to, let me move this one, because you're going to take this and then we're going to glue this down. Okay, so we're going to add some glue here. And you really, really want to make sure that you adhere your ribbon. Okay, that is like majorly important, because you're going to be using your pen a lot, right? Because you're going to be taking it out and putting it back in, and, you know, when you're writing notes and stuff. So you just want to make sure that you get that down there really good. Another, like I said earlier, another reason why I use the cardstock. Okay, and then this we are just going to lay on top, and I am just going to, oops, I didn't make sure it was straight. Okay, this also gives the ribbon a little bit more stability by adding the second piece. But the main reason why I added the second piece is because these frames, they're, you know, they're inexpensive, right? So they bend kind of easy. So obviously you don't want to, so if you add a couple sheets of cardstock, you attach your ribbon and add a couple pieces, 2, maybe even 3. And I used a heavy cardstock. This is 110. Okay. And then you're going to slide this in the back here. There we go. You see? And then you've got your pin holder right there. And then your back is nice and clean. Now, one of the things that I did do also to kind of give it just a little bit more stability, I took a little bit of tape on mine right here, just some clear shipping tape, and I just glued it right there and across. And then that gave it a little bit more stability also, which, you want, because you want to make sure that it's going to be okay. See, it doesn't have near as much give on it as it did. And if you tape the back of it, like I just said, you're really going to give it a lot more stability that way. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to put our little flowers on. All right. So what I like to do is kind of start in the middle. Like I find my middle, and then I just kind of figure out where I want my things to go. And yeah, I'm just eyeballing it. All right. So we're going to put the purple in the middle there. And then we're going to put we should have put the purple in the, oh no, doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to put this one up here. Oh, my little button's getting a little, or my little gem there. All right. I had forgotten that I made this purple flower earlier, and I had forgotten that I put the petals where I would do for the left side, but it doesn't matter. All right. And then last but not least, of course, is our yellow. So you're going to put that on there. And now is where you want to press it down really hard. Okay. Because you want to make sure that that Velcro is going to stick. So once you do that, then test it out. And see, it's stuck right to it. So there, we'll just add that. And then last, you're just going to take a notepad, add some tape right to the top here. And then you're going to slide that on. There we go. And last, you're going to slide your pin in. And there you go. Now, isn't that just sweet? And look how easy it went together. See, just really cute. It's just a fun, fun spring, colorful project. You guys know that I love, love, love color. So I just thought this was perfect with the ribbons and, adding the buttons. And then who could forget about our little guy up here? I mean, he's just adorable, right? All right, there we go. So let me, you guys talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. And let me switch my camera over. I've made a mess on my table here. All right, let me switch my camera. There we go. There I am. Cute, right? I just love these. I think they're so adorable. And you can go on Pinterest also, guys. They have tons of different ideas on how to do something like this. So, you can check out if you want to do something different, or you just want to do it exactly like mine. I'm good with that too. So, yeah, so I'm glad that you guys all came and shared with me today. Hung out with me. you're going to make a bunch of for gifts for a craft retreat. Excellent, Lorley. That's a great idea. Very, very inexpensive. That's what I love about it, because when you're creating something like this, you know, I come from a family where my mom did boutiques from the time I was old enough to walk, you know, all the way through until a few years before she passed. So I'm always thinking about, you know, what could I sell at craft fairs and, you know, things like that. I don't do them anymore myself because I just don't have time, but I'm always thinking about it, you know. So I think it's a great idea for that. It's a great gift, you know, for somebody. Just really cute, easy to put together, and inexpensive. What is better than all of that? Nothing. Nothing. All right. So I will go over all of the comments because I see that, you know, a few of you popped in while I had my head down. Hi, Becky. Hi, Kathleen. So, yeah, so I will check all your comments to make sure that I don't miss any questions or anything. And don't forget to, this will be on our blog or on our website, our blog. Okay. I usually have it up by Sunday. I might get it up a little earlier, but I will notify the Facebook group. You know, I put a little graphic in to let you guys know that it's that the blog post is up. So you can you'll have step-by-step instructions and also photos. Okay. So if you want to, you know, I don't know, copy them and run them, you know, print them and run them off for your friends. I don't know, but you know, whatever you want to do is okay with me. All right. So I think, oh, no. Before I go, okay, I forgot. I'm picking 2 winners this time. 2 winners this time, because this is from the last 2 that I was supposed to draw. And then you guys know that I lost my puppy, my baby. So I was a little off, you know. I was upset, and yeah, I was having a hard time. So I forgot about doing this. So I am doing it today. I promised Dan. So 2 winners. Now Anna's going to put together goodie boxes this time, okay, for our winners. So 2 winners from the last couple weeks. But you will need to wait until Anne is home from this, and probably until after BellaCon is over for the winner. Okay, so I'll explain that to the winners more, you know, once I announce and all that. Okay, so the first one, who is relatively new to us, and oh, and she's in here. Yay. Okay, so Diana Kolowski, something like that. Diana, I see you. So congratulations, Diana. She's watching us from YouTube. So Diana, send us a private message on Facebook with your name, address, and email address. Okay, so I need your home address and your email address. And since you're here, I'll go ahead and explain what I was starting to say. Anne is going to be gone, and then she gets home right before we start BellaCon, and we're going to be busy with that through that following weekend. So don't expect your giveaway prize to come right away. It's going to be probably, I would imagine, closer to the end of May. Okay. So if you can hang on till then, we would love it. Okay. And then the other one, she's one of our regulars, but I did not see her in here today. Okay. So the other winner is Kaylin. So Kaylin is usually in here. I don't know where she is today, but I'll get a hold of her. Okay. And don't forget, for this week's giveaway, which I'm going to announce next week. Okay. So for those of you that don't know how we do this, we do our projects, and we have our sponsor. And what we do is we wait until the following week to pick the winners. Okay. And we do that because the majority of the people that watch us is on replay, and we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to win. And how you do that is you like, share, and comment my video, and then you'll be entered every time you share. you'll be entered into the giveaway. And so for today's giveaway, which will be next week, we're doing, like I said, Gwen Studios is our sponsor, so they're going to be providing the giveaway for you guys. So it will be a product prize. I'm pretty sure that it'll be a product prize. So you'll get lots of cool products in the box, or, so don't forget. And those of you that watch on YouTube, no worries, because all you have to do is just hashtag in the comments in YouTube, and I will put you guys in manually. Okay. We use a randomizer to announce all of our winners, or to pick our winners. And the ones on YouTube, I have to put in manually. So if you're watching from YouTube, just hashtag Bella Crafts, and I will pull your name and put you in the randomizer that way. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Done. I am done. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It is a lot of fun. And I hope you guys give it a try. And if you do, share it. Share it on our Do You Love to Craft group. I would love to see what you guys are doing. And if you don't know about our Do You Love to Craft group, we are on Facebook. That is one of Bella Crafts Publishings. That's one of our Facebook groups. So, yeah. If you haven't, joined over there on Do You Love to Craft, do that, because we've got lots of fun stuff, going on in there. There's sharing, beautiful work that people share in there, and, just lots of fun stuff. So I'll put the link in for that also, just so you guys will have it. Okay. All right. So that is it for me. Now, next week, which is the 14th. Yeah. Today's the 7th. Yeah. Next Wednesday, we're not doing lives next Wednesday at all. Okay. Just so you guys know ahead of time. So what I'll do for the winner, Gwen Studios winner, I will go ahead and announce it on Facebook. I'll make a graphic and put it on Facebook for you. Okay. So, and then contact the winner. But we are not going to be doing lives because BellaCon, our virtual retreat, starts that day. And if you guys have not signed up for it, you should do it, because we've got 24 plus different projects from our teachers. We've got 16 teachers teaching all of these fabulous workshops, and I will also put the link in for there. But if you just look at our Facebook page, you'll see BellaCon's all over it, because I've been sharing like crazy. So if you haven't signed up, you should, because if you ask anybody that's ever been to one of our events, they're going to tell you how completely awesome it is. So I won't see you guys next week, nor Ann, but I will be back that following Wednesday. I think that's like the 21st, something like that. I'll be back for that live. And then I'm going to be off for a few weeks because I'm having my other hand surgeries that Friday. So, we got lots going on right now. We've got lots going on. So until the next time that I see you all, have a great week or 2 weeks. I will see you back here, or I'll see you at BellaCon for those of you that are heading out. And what I always like to say, because it's so very much important, is to take some time to craft, because it's good for your soul. It really is. All right, you guys, you take care. I will see you soon. All right. Have a great week. Bye, guys.